welcome everybody here to the show on Shaw, episode number 156, the third episode of our 8th season, and our first episode, of course, of 2019. So thank you so much for joining us. Our musical guest right behind me, he's from the island, the singer-songwriter, but he's also a traveling troubadour, Mr. Aaron James. I say traveling troubadour because he's spending a lot of his time lately overseas. We're going to find out more about that and also hear 3 of his songs throughout the program. Now, our Seniors Connect series is also back for 2019. We're going to cast our gaze over to the Oceanside region to find out about an upcoming Oceanside Health and Wellness Fair, a collection of healthiness, the likes we haven't seen since our cameraman Howie joined a Pilates studio. And no man really rocks stretchy pants quite like Howie, let me tell you. Anyways, that's one way of your path to health and happiness, but one of Nanaimo's most knowledgeable in health and happiness is, of course, certified sexual health educator, Kerri Isham. Very, very happy to have her back in the program. She's a wonderful guest, and of course, she'll be addressing sexual health education. Now, the city of Nanaimo made it through what was probably the windiest night of the year back in December, but in February, the Island Crisis Care Society will be again marking the coldest night of the year. It's a fundraising walk aimed to bring attention to homelessness and to raise money for local charities. There'll be walks happening in both Nanaimo and Parksville. Stay tuned to find out when they are taking place and how you can register, donate, and participate. Now, let's talk about my best friend right now. He weighs about 12 pounds, and he's all covered in gray hair, and well, he's a cat. Let's just call it how it is. And I can't really come to grips with the fact that one day he will pass on. I'm going to have lots of trouble dealing with that grief. I'm sure you might as well if you have pets too. But we've got an animal communicator on the program with all sorts of recommendations about communicating with your animal, but also how to grieve your animals with grace. And if Grace is away on a holiday, maybe grieve with Ingrid or maybe with Cathy or Steve or something like that. Anyways, whatever. Now, you may have actually seen an advertisement for a drag race taking place inside the Queen's Hotel in downtown Nanaimo. And you might be wondering, is it just really tiny cars? Or is it just a really, really short race? No, it's neither of those things. The drag refers to the clothing of the contestants who will be performing on stage as part of a fundraiser for AIDS Vancouver Island. Find out more about that in about 40 minutes' time. Now, one of Nanaimo's preeminent celebrations of film is coming up in February, the 2019 Vancouver Island Short Film Festival. A much better way to spend an evening than the Vancouver Island Long Film Festival, which invariably runs out of popcorn every year. The Short Film Fest, however, will feature 13 films from across the world, really, including 4 produced right here in Nanaimo. We're going to meet one of those local filmmakers and the festival director as well. But first, we're very happy to highlight an annual multicultural event which seamlessly combines cultures from 2 different continents, just as we strive to seamlessly share stories from Central Vancouver Island. For you, it's the show on Shaw.
Well, this sounds like an excellent show this evening. I'm really thrilled to be a part of the gathering of all the interesting people that we're talking to this evening. And here are 2 really interesting people that I've known for quite a while, Lloyd and Swan McElwam. How are you doing, and what are you here to talk about?
Well, we're doing great, and we're to talk about our 12th annual Robbie Burns Chinese New Year celebration, where we merge together Scottish culture with Chinese culture.
Exactly, and I'm pleased to say I've attended this event a number of times and found it really, really fascinating and interesting and delightfully delicious food and all of that. So tell me a little bit more, Swan, can you tell me a little bit more about what the food's about?
Oh, the food, right? The food is combined the Chinese buffet, right? There's a traditional Chinese food. And then the interesting is some Scottish food that combined together, like a fusion food, like for example, the haggis wonton, right? Use the haggis to make a wonton.
Really good, yeah.
Use the turnip to make a spring roll, the Chinese spring roll, right?
Okay.
So that is 2 very interesting food, right?
Yeah. And you've got
some
like a
other
number
one.
of people putting that together for you folks every year, right?
Yeah, we have 10 to 15, volunteers, and plus the cadets, they come to help too. So
and
lots of
because that's what
volunteers.
that's all about. It's fundraising for the Canadian Sea Cadets Nanaimo chapter.
Yeah,
right.
that's right. Yeah,
that's right.
Your offspring are both members of that group too, right?
Oh, no, they're great. I mean, that's just the greatest organization I've heard of, on Vancouver Island.
Yes.
It's just fantastic.
Yes.
So we're really pleased to be able to, raise money for them and, contribute and help them to sort of present their program to the cadets and do all the different things that they do and go all the different places they go and that kind of thing. So,
Yes.
no, it's great.
And it helps to create, to foster interesting young people who are motivated, and I know for a fact as an observer that one of the highlights of your evening is a particular dance which blends both cultures, and both of your sons have participated as performers. Can you tell me more about that event?
Well, that's right, and it's we call it the Lion Sword Dance, and we came up with it about maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and just sort of because we have the Scottish dancers doing traditional Highland dancing and sword dancing, and then we have the lion dance, and they're doing traditional, lion dancing. So I thought, well, maybe we'll just put them together. So I talked to the two groups, and I said, can you lend me the swords? Can you lend me the lion? They said, fine, put it on somebody. And they did a dance. They did a sword dance with the lion costume on, the big lion head. And there's two of them, right? There's two of them to do it. It was great success. Everybody loved it. And we've been doing it ever since. And it's a real highlight of the show. And you'll just have to come to see what it's all about.
Yes, absolutely. And every year it's tended to be held at Bowen Park, but this year it's at a new venue.
That's right.
And the amazing dance will take place at this new venue, which is?
John Barsby Secondary School, 550 7th Street, which is at Bruce, 7 Bruce. And and we have a lot of other things too that are really merging the culture together. Last year we did Address to the Haggis, which is very traditional Scottish, but we did it in 12 different languages. And before that we did it in 4 languages for 3 or 4 years, then we did it in 3. And in fact, you did it in French 3 or 4 years,
exactly.
which we really appreciated.
And honored. I was honored to present.
People love it. Last year we did 12 different languages. This year we're going for 14.
Wow.
So that's something that is new and different, and it kind of brings all the different cultures together, which is really what we want to do. And we want to get a mixing like all the cultures. And another one that it's sort of a surprise, and I'm just working on it right now, but we have the Address to the Haggis, which is very traditional Scottish, but I'm developing the Address to the Hot Pot. And the Hot Pot is the traditional Chinese dinner that they have at New Year's, right? It's a big pot, there's boiling water, and they put the food in the water, and they cook it through boiling and eat it. So I'm working on having an address to the hot pot as well as an address to the haggis.
Well, absolutely,
sort of
those are the two cultures, so why not? Now, I was hoping that, Swan, if you don't mind, that you could present a sentence or two in your own language about the event so that people who might be watching who are of the same culture could hear the news as well.
Okay, sure. 大家好，就是想跟大家说一下，如果你想了解呢，我们中国的文化跟这个苏格兰的文化是怎么结合在一起的哈。那么有一个呢，社区的这个公益活动呢，是非常的有意义的，所以希望你们能够来参加。这个公益活动呢，我们叫做罗宾伯和中国新年的庆祝会。那这庆祝会的时间呢，是在2月2号的下午，在 John Barsby 这个中学他们有一个这个剧院在那边表演，所以希望大家能够来参加啊。
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And as we get ready to close the segment, I thought it would be lovely if at least you could stand up, Lloyd, to show us that you are showing off both cultures in your dress this evening. You're wearing a beautiful Asian jacket and as well the traditional Scottish kilt and accessories. So, and that's on February 2nd at the theater at John Barsby School. And the credits have been rolling by. They can find out, and tickets are also announced on the website. So thank you both very much, and have a wonderful, wonderful event again this year.
Thank you.
So come address the haggis and be prosperous.
Exactly, exactly. And the hot pot.
And the hot pot.
Yeah, exactly. So our next segment will be another wonderful Seniors Connect mini episode, if you will, with Cathy and Joan from Oceanside.
Thank you so much, Joanne. That was great. Swan and Lloyd, I have known you guys for years, and this party is the party of the year. It's something that everybody has to do. You just got to go to this celebration. And back this year in 2019, I am thrilled to talk about the Seniors Connect segment. Although Joan Ryan is well known with Seniors Connect through Lifeline, she's actually doing something entirely different that's not Lifeline, but is health and wellness related. Tell us about the upcoming health fair.
Well, on March the 16th, we're going to hold our 24th annual Health and Wellness Fair at
24
Parksville.
years?
24 years.
Oh my gosh,
we've been
I had no
doing
idea.
This. Now, I haven't been on the committee for 24 years, but Lifeline's been there for pretty much all the 24 years.
Oh my goodness.
So it's at the Parksville Conference Center on Jensen Avenue in Parksville on March the 16th from 10 to 5. For those people who have been there the last couple of years, we're doing a 2-day fair. This year we're going back to 1 day.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, we are. We have about 50 presenters or spaces for exhibitors. And as the registrar, I can tell you that I already have 21 paid exhibitors. And we just sent out the
call for
registration form recently. Yeah. And we'll have 5 or 6 health talks throughout the day. And for our second year in a row, we're actually going to hold a high tea in the afternoon. Pre-sold tickets.
Well, through the Nanaimo Senior Services Network, of course, we've had the Health and Wellness Fair for years, which you have been almost exclusively responsible for and putting things together with our incredible team, of course.
With our team.
But one of the things that was very popular was the tea.
Oh, yes.
So tell us a little bit about the tea at Oceanside.
Well, the high tea was actually a brainchild of another one of our members at NSSN who kept saying, we want people to take their mothers out to tea in the afternoon in China teacups and all of that stuff. So we started it with our NSSN Health Fair a couple of years ago. And then last year was St. Patrick's Day weekend, and we did it in Parksville. And people just love coming to that. It's easier for us organizers because we pre-sell the tickets, so we know how many people are coming. Yeah. But an opportunity to come and sit down and have tea in a China teacup and little sandwiches and little sweets and things, and it just takes people back, especially when we're talking mostly seniors, and it just takes them back in time and brings back their memories of things that they did. And you know, I can remember as a girl having tea with my grandmother at home in a China teacup, you know, that kind of thing. Those kind of memories.
I have a large, people don't know this about me, but I have a large collection of teacups. And there is nothing nicer than an afternoon tea with good friends. It's lovely.
Well, I have a brother-in-law who only drinks, he's British, only drinks his tea out of a China teacup. You can't give him a mug.
Oh my goodness.
You get turned away.
So when we talk about the Oceanside Health and Wellness Fair, you said that right now we've got about 20, or you have about 21 exhibitors. 21
so far.
What kind of things would you expect to see when you go? Like what kind of exhibitors are going?
Yeah, good question, Cathy.
You're
Our
welcome.
exhibitors are very, very varied, and I'm really, really happy to say that for the 3rd year in a row, one of our exhibitors is the Vancouver Island Compassion Dog Society.
Oh, wonderful.
And if you're not aware of who they actually train military vets who have PTSD with a dog who is their service dog. So they'll be there. You can come and learn more about that. Lifeline will be there. Lifeline's check-in service, which is our Senior Connect. We have pharmacies. We have supplement people. We have Tai Chi. We have all kinds of nonprofit societies, and just quite a wide variety of folks to come and see and learn.
Where is it going to be? You said it's Oceanside, so where is it going to be?
Parksville Conference Center, which is on Jensen Avenue in Parksville. Pretty much everybody knows where that is.
And people can talk to you about it too. They can email you at Lifeline. At, I think, I shouldn't probably give it out, but I think, meaning my memory might not be right. So let's see whether or not we've got this. Joan at Nanaimo Hospital Foundation I want to say .ca.
No,
it's
com.
Okay.
Almost.
Well, I mean, it's never going
yes.
to be perfect, but the good news is that there's lots of information that's available for you. The Seniors Connect segment is really an important segment for all of us because we get to share with the community what's happening for older adults, particularly isolated seniors. So if you haven't checked us out yet, we encourage you to give us a call at Nanaimo Family Life Association or at Lifeline or the 3 partnerships, but more importantly to go to our website, www.seniorsconnect.com. Did I get that one right?
I think you got that
I
one
think
right.
I did. Next up, we're going to listen to a little bit of beautiful, relaxing music to start our new year. And the song is called Goodbye, but I'll be back. So it's not totally goodbye. Here's Aaron James.
Tell me that you love me, 'cause I need a fix. Always felt so lonely, company of ships, ones that never hold me, beyond the shadow of the drifts. Always see so lonely, other side of me. I'm like in a cloudy day, I know you're burning just not for me. Baby, you're the moon in the darkest of skies, holding the tides of my heart and saying goodbye. Goodbye. Your body's a beach, my mind the waves. I've been crashing down on you for days, though more like months, coming up to a year. Said it's been so long now, and I need you near. Baby, you're the sunlight on a cloudy day. I know you're burning just not for me. Baby, you're the moon in the darkest of skies, holding the tides of my heart and saying goodbye. Goodbye, baby. Goodbye. Goodbye, baby. Goodbye. Goodbye, baby. I don't wanna say goodbye. Don't make me say it. Goodbye.
Thanks so much for joining us on the show. And Happy New Year to you. Wishing you the best for 2019. But not everyone's having a happy new year. And I'm talking about the issues of homelessness and poverty in our community. A very important walk, fundraiser, and awareness event is taking place February 23rd with the coldest night of the year. And joining me today from the Island Crisis Care Society is Violet Hayes, Executive Director, and Corey Corfield, the Resource Development Coordinator. And they're both here joining us today. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
So first of all, Violet, I'll start with you and tell us about the Island Crisis Care Society and your involvement with the Coldest Night of the Year event.
Well, Island Crisis Care Society has been around in Nanaimo since the early 80s, and about 9 years ago we were looking for a fundraiser to start, and it just so happened that I got a phone call one day from Ontario from someone saying, would you be interested in doing a fundraiser? And so we looked into it, and so for 8 years we've been doing this fundraiser in Nanaimo, and it's a cross-Canada event, and so you walk to support the homeless and support local charities, whatever area you're in.
Yeah, and it's in 100 cities right across Canada?
More than, I think it was 135 last year.
Wow.
And we do it here, and now we also do it in Parksville. It'll be the 5th year in Parksville and the 8th year in Nanaimo.
And how much money are you hoping to raise?
$40,000 in each location.
Okay, so where is it taking place? Do people have to register online, or can they just show up? Where is it taking place in Nanaimo?
In Nanaimo, it's at John Barsby.
Okay.
And people go ahead online, coldestnightoftheyear.org. And the best thing to do is to register a team. So usually a group of people get together, and maybe a family or co-workers. You start a team, and then it's really easy because you just send out emails to all your friends and family, and they sponsor you, and then you walk. And it's just a great little taste of what it's like being homeless, walking in the cold. Yeah. And then you come together at the end and you have a meal together. It's supposed to be like if you were in a soup kitchen, you line up and you get a bowl of soup.
So people can experience for themselves what it may be like to be on the streets for an evening with no home. And so we're raising important awareness here, raising funds. Next, I want to ask you a question, Corey. This is an important issue, homelessness and poverty. What is happening to help? What do you think are the important issues that we need to address? How can we help?
Well, there's lots of ways, and I know Violet can speak a lot more to this.
Should I ask
than
Violet this
maybe,
question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when we're talking about this event in particular, I think a lot of the community is looking for specific ways that they can help and that they can be a part of the solution. And so, registering and walking with Coldest Night of the Year is a great way to do that. It's getting out there, being actually active and doing something, raising money, bringing your family and your friends. It is a family-friendly event, so you can bring your kids and the whole family out and walking and just showing that you care and that you're doing something to support. So
yeah, and we have a clip that we want to show, a quick video clip.
It doesn't take much to share the warmth. Sometimes it's just a cup of coffee, a few kind words, stepping outside your comfort zone. The coldest night of the year is here. Together, we're walking to help hungry, homeless, and hurting people and families in our community. So join us this February. Start a team, register to walk, and fundraise. Let's share the warmth, because it's cold out there.
cnoy.org, and people can check that out.
Amazing toque. This is this year's toque. Every year it's a different toque.
Right.
And this is the one for this year. So.
Okay. So people can also get that toque.
So register online
Yeah.
for either the walks in Nanaimo or Oceanside, and when you register and raise some funds, you'll get your very own toque. There's people that have come out every year, and so they have the collection of all the toques from every year, so it's really exciting when they see. So unveiling the toque for 2019 is a pretty exciting moment. So this is this year's toque. So.
And Shaw has been one of our biggest supporters. I think in the 8 years that we've been doing the walk in Nanaimo, I think they've walked 7 of those years.
Wow.
So we're hoping they're going to do it again this year.
Yeah. Now, what are your last thoughts to add, Violet? Like, this is an important issue, obviously. We've barely touched the subject. We just don't have time today, but what would your thoughts be on maybe how people can help aside from this throughout the year?
We're always looking for people to support in whether it's volunteering, whether it's donating online. Monthly supporters is important as well, but just to really reiterate that this is a great way to start out and even just get involved with the society and see what we're all about.
Yeah, and we encourage everybody to get out and support this event. It's obviously very important, and also support you throughout the year because you're doing this important work. And I really want to thank you both for all this amazing work that you do. You're like angels doing this work. It's important, difficult work, and so thankful that you're doing this work and helping to assist those who really need this help in our community.
Thank you.
And we've got to wrap it up next, but thanks for joining us.
Thank
you. We'll be out there at that walk. And thanks.
Look
and
forward
again,
to seeing you.
Yeah, thanks. And again, that walk's happening February 23rd. It's the coldest night of the year. For more information, go to cnoy.org. I'm going to throw it over next to Cathy Holmes.
The cause is absolutely incredible, and in the coldest nights of the year with the storm we've recently had, it's really great to know that Island Crisis is there for the members of our community. I'm going to talk now about something that's very near to my heart, and that is communicating with the animals that we've all loved so much. And my friend Michele is here. We're going to talk, I'm going to give you her proper name in a second, but before I do that, I've been asked to read this small little segment as we begin. I lost my heart dog suddenly last year, and my world literally stopped. I had massive panic attacks, and I was in constant hysterics, to the point I was robbing my partner the ability to grieve because he was so worried for my well-being. In a moment of clarity, I thought to contact Michele to communicate with our boy. My mom and boyfriend, who both I would describe as open-minded skeptics, came to me, to Michele, and it was genuinely life-changing. We laughed, loved, cried, and bonded. I was able to let go of the excruciating pain and focus on the beauty he not only brought, but continues to bring to our lives. Knowing that he hasn't gone and is within reach truly gave me the opportunity to move forward without him here every day. It's my pleasure to present Michele Jarvis-Wonnacott. Thank you, Michele.
Thank you, thank you.
You are a dog psychic and you've given me chills.
Thanks, my heart is
Pounding. Whoops, except don't hit the microphone. It's a great dress, great outfit, but we cannot hit the microphone.
Sit on my hands.
Sweetie, you do all kinds of things. You do some tremendous training in the community. You're an author, you're a trainer, you're a communicator, you teach classes. What brought you to this work?
The animals.
The animals.
Literally, the animals keep bringing their people to me. Yeah. It doesn't stop. Once I opened up to this in life, it just never, ever stopped. There's like this direct stream of people that keep coming and coming and coming, and the animals demand through their truth and honesty that I keep doing it and I keep being a voice for them.
And what's interesting is that you actually did a reading for me with my little girls. I have 2 Jack Russells, and you did a really quick reading, but you were bang on. Like, I mean, bang, bang on. One of the things that I'm most interested, because we only have a little bit of time, is really this permission piece, right? This is the piece that I think is so hard when you lose a loved one in our furry pets. Yeah. And so you've written this book, you're writing your second book right now, but the first book is called I Give You Permission to Grieve. Tell us a little bit about that, for your dog.
Well, for all animals, it covers all animals. People need a place to grieve.
Yeah.
You know, when people pass, we have all kinds of people to share it with. We don't hold funerals and have this big piece for our animals. And it's, you know, I've met people that will never get another animal again because they're so heartbroken because they haven't grieved and they can't and they don't know where or how. Yeah. So the book is about one of my dogs who've passed. I've had many dogs who passed, but the book's about one of my dogs that passed. And then I did all of this journaling and all of these questions for people as they're reading the book, these questions to ask themselves about how they're feeling right now and to tap into their body and to learn and acknowledge that there's messages from your pet around you. They show up, they're still there, and there's just so much information and so much beauty in the passing that if we could focus on that rather than the pain of the loss, it's just a gift. It's a gift.
Well, on the other side of that gift too is that many people, it's true, many people will give themselves to grieve a loved one. Yeah. But when the pet dies, the dog, the cat, the bird, whatever, when the pet dies, that sometimes is an almost deeper grief because the unconditional love that our pets have. Yeah. Unfortunately, this makes me so sad because I can't believe our time is already pretty much to the end, but it's really important that you share some dates with us regarding this. Yes. I believe you've got some incredible seminars coming up and you really need to do that. So let's briefly talk about them and then we'll move along.
I have 2 scheduled workshops so far. Okay. The first one is on Sunday, February the 3rd at High Point Ranch in Duncan. The second one is Saturday, March the 23rd in Aldergrove, BC, and those are teaching people how to tap into their intuitive skills so they can communicate with their pets themselves and know about how they're doing. And then the Pet Loss Grief Workshop is Saturday, February the 16th in Nanaimo, BC.
Well, everybody really needs to take your workshops. Do you have a quick website that you can shout out?
TheDogPsychic.com.
TheDogPsychic.com. And you can follow you on Facebook too. I know I'm a member and I love it. It's really good.
Because the dogs teach me something every day, so I share it.
They do. And thanks for sharing it with us. I look forward to having you with us again in the future.
Yeah, me too. Thank you very much.
Next up though, we're going to talk about something a little bit risque, but from a fabulous perspective, very much. Joanne Hogan's up. It's going to be fun, babe.
What a wonderful and touching piece. I'm hoping that people will go to Michele's website and find out more about this communication process and how it can evolve for both the human and the pet. It sounds really, really wonderful. And speaking of amazing communication skills, I turn my head over to Kerri. Kerri Isham is a very passionate facilitator, and when I was reading up on what you were doing, I just thought I should just say, go. So I thought it would be great if we could discuss some of the workshops that you wanted to talk about tonight, and as well the books that you have completed and the one that you're about to complete.
Great. Well, my name's Kerri Isham, and I'm a certified sexual health educator. I have been running my own sexual health consulting business for the past 10 years, and I work with preschool to seniors. So my belief is that you are a sexual being as soon as you enter the world, and you're a sexual being until you leave the planet. So I specialize in sexual abuse prevention, LGBTQ advocacy, and working with special needs people. And so what I have created 3 books, well, almost 3 books. The third one is in the works.
I get the pleasure of holding up the
Sure.
first one.
The first one is Puberty Coming to a Body Near You. And it's specifically for grade 3 to 7, unless you have someone that started puberty earlier or later. And it's an interactive workbook, and the feedback has been really positive. There's a lot of funny jokes in there, and it's meant for a parent to do the workbook with their puberty age child. Most adults that I talk to say they learned something new in my book, and they always say the same thing. I really wish that I had this book when I was growing up. The second book that I've written is called Body Smart Right from the Start.
I like that.
It's
right from the start.
Exactly.
Begin here.
Exactly. So much easier to begin talking to small children than trying to have the talk when your child is 12 or 13, because likely they're not going to be that open to it. This is a sexual abuse prevention workbook, and it's aimed for 3 to 10-year-olds. And the whole purpose is for kids to understand that their bodies belong to them. Everybody has body autonomy, and they get to decide what kind of touches they want to give people and what kind of touches they receive. They learn about safe, unsafe, secret touch. They learn about who their trusted adults are. And that one is probably my bestseller, I think, just because people are really concerned about the safety of their kids. And the third book that I am working on right now, it was supposed to be done in December, but I took a little extended holiday from writing my book. It is called Beyond Puberty, and it is for 12 to 18-year-olds who are have an intellectual disability. It can be for neurotypical people as well, but the focus is on healthy relationships and consent, who you can be in relationships with and who you can't be in relationships with. Because I really believe that people with disabilities sort of are not given the information that they need.
There's assumptions made that they won't be
absolutely
curious or anything like that.
And if you have genitals, you are going to be interested in potentially sharing your body at some point with someone. And even if it's not with someone else, then I want them to understand about sharing their body with themselves. That's
so
critical
empowering to have that knowledge that's so fundamental about
Absolutely.
the body and the self.
Absolutely.
And do your workshops address the same groups?
Pretty much. My 2 main workshops right now, I've developed a workshop called Creating a Culture of Child Protection. And it's specifically for early childhood educators, parents, teachers, community members, and social workers to look at the grooming tactics that predators use to be able to have access to children, and so that they actually don't report because the person convinces them that they have been a part of the abuse.
Okay. So it looks like we're going to have to wrap up, or we've got maybe a minute left, so you can talk about the second workshop.
And the second workshop's kindergarten to grade 7 focus, supporting kids that age who have physical and intellectual disabilities, and also an older one for grade 8 to grade 12. And this is really for teachers, educational assistants, parents, foster parents, grandparents who are raising grandchildren, to be able to have easier conversations, because many adults haven't had these conversations, so it's hard to just assume, okay, I'm going to be comfortable delivering the information myself.
And what I like in the introduction on your website to your workshops, you say workshops will provide a fun and relaxed atmosphere where individuals can increase their knowledge, motivation, and skills to achieve optimal sexual health.
Yep.
What a great statement. And on that last sentence, I will say we'll have to wrap it up.
Right.
And for everyone who wants to find out more about to communicate in this with this very important subject matter, it's great to go and look at your website. It's just an amazing, full of great information and
Awesome.
tips. Okay?
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Okay, so back to our featured musician, Aaron, who this time will be interviewed by our main host, Matt.
Thank you very, very much. Joanne, thanks, Kerri, again for being here as well. Really important, obviously really important stuff to discuss. I'm not sure if our next guest here actually has the Marvin Gaye classic Sexual Healing in his repertoire, but I'm definitely going to be asking, that's for sure. All right, so with that, a very welcome to our musical guest, Aaron James. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
And no, okay, so seriously, is Sexual Healing in the repertoire?
No. No, I don't know any Marvin Gaye, but I could learn.
All right, well, there you go, some for homework. So speaking of songs and stuff, I like to get back to the roots of it. So looking at your bio, you started writing songs at 7 years old.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of those songs?
I remember, of course, the first one that I wrote. It was called Do What You Do. And I wrote it about my childhood best friend at the time and my grade 1 teacher, Mrs. CJ.
Did either of them know that the song was about them? Ever hear it?
Oh yeah, I sang it. I sang it after I wrote it. I sang it in front of my class.
Any chance you still play like 8 bars right now?
No, it was completely a cappella.
Oh, nice.
I was just walking through a field and a melody just kind of came into my head, and then words just formed after singing the melody for a while, and that's it just always was a pretty natural thing for me.
Songs choose us, we don't choose the songs.
Yeah.
As it were. All right, so off the top of the show, I called you Traveling Troubadour, because even though you sort of grew up here in the Central Island in Salt Spring, you've been spending a lot of time over in Vietnam. In fact, one of the lines you said to me is Vietnam is home now. So
yes.
I'm interested in asking, so what is it that drew you there in the first place?
I don't know, that's kind of a hard thing to articulate, but there's a certain sense of missing something in this musical climate, and I'm just a really big Beatles fan, and part of the story of the Beatles is that they were a really terrible hometown band that nobody cared about, and they got some contracts here and there, but the big turning point was they got a contract to work at the Reeperbahn in Hamburg. And after they had spent, I think it was only 48 days, but after they had spent 48 days there, they played 6 nights a week. And then they went home, and everybody thought they were from Germany. And everybody thought, like, wow, that's really wild, like a German band here. And so everybody went, and the kind of grinding and the playing, 6 days a week thing just makes you a good musician. And that's really hard to find in Canada. Like, it's hard to find a place, especially as an original artist, to have 1 night a week to play, 3 hours. And so it was a craving of mine to seek that out, and I found the opportunity to do that, or I suspected the opportunity to do that in Vietnam, and it turned out that that's exactly what it was.
So you're back here now, working on an album. We'll talk about that in a bit. But how long have you spent in Vietnam now at this point?
I was there for about 1 year and 4 months, between 1 year and 4 months, 1.5 years.
I've heard Vietnam has really friendly people and great food. Tell me what else I don't know about, or tell me something I don't know about Vietnam, or why I should visit.
I mean, that's it. It's just the people are amazing, the culture is incredible. It's very different to a lot of places because it's come from a war, and it's very different experiencing places that come from a war. There's not a lot of places, especially as Canadians, like we don't ever see that anywhere, and when you're there, you actually see remnants of war, and you see things like Agent Orange and how it's still in the gene pool. And so there's a lot of eye-opening kind of stuff. But aside from that, I mean, they're just a beautiful people with amazing food, and their hospitality is, as much as you could ask for. And it's cheap. So if you like not spending a lot of money and getting the best for your buck, then it's great.
Perfect. All right, so I got to get back to another song here in a moment. But really quickly, as mentioned, you're back here in Vancouver just for a short time working on an album. Just a quick shout out about that process and how that's going.
So I'm signed to a local record label called Risk Disc Records, and we actually have a recording facility in Yellow Point Cedar. And so I had just accumulated a body of work that was time to kind of put down a tape, and so that was the ideas that I would come home, record, and then head back. So
Perfect.
that's basically what I'm working on.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron, thank you so much for being on the program here. Glad we caught you while you're back on the island for a bit.
Thanks for having me.
And I guess the next song we're going to hear is a song called Saigon Rain.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, Aaron, thanks so much for joining us. Aaron James here for you on the show on Shaw.
Take me to the river, baby, shave my head. Yeah, I'll find what I find out there. You don't turn me on, baby, turn me loose. Jaded young man who's got something to prove. At least I think I do, yeah. If you need me, come find me in the Saigon rain. Let it wash my body, make me clean again. I ain't even around for no season to change. Find me in the Saigon rain. Take me to the land of millionaires. The living is cheap and the women always slop and stare. I feel like I'm walking out on the moon. In the blistering heat, I've been a falling monsoon. You need me, come find me in the Saigon rain. Let it wash my body, make me clean again. I ain't around for no season to change. Come find me in the Saigon. Find me in the Saigon. Find me in the Saigon rain. Find me in the Saigon rain.
Now that was a musical treat. More with Aaron James to close the show. Next, I'd like to introduce you to my friend and colleague, Dean Tholner, who is from Volume Studio Productions, and also Rhonda Kelly, who is a care coordinator with AIDS Vancouver Island. I have both of these individuals here today to discuss the exciting news that we are having the first ever Vancouver Island drag race.
Yes.
So Dean, why don't you take it away for us and tell us a little bit about what we have going on here.
Well, thanks for inviting us today, Vanessa. Vancouver Island is going to have its first annual Vancouver Island drag race. And we're really excited to provide this platform to invite Vancouver Island's LGBTQ and artistic members to come out to express themselves on their own terms and to give back to AIDS Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Indie Entertainment and Volume Studio Productions is really passionate about bringing awareness to AIDS and to that cause in our community. Being a member of the LGBT community and living through the 80s and losing quite a lot of our friends, we've seen over the years that this sort of fear or this sort of awareness has sort of waned with the new advances with the medications. But HIV certainly does not, it's not biased, and it certainly does not have a demographic. HIV can affect anybody and anyone in our community. It can happen to anybody. And I think it's important to continue to bring awareness to our youth to understand that with 70 million people on the planet who have been affected with HIV, that it's still a cause that we have to make sure that we're aware of. So we're super excited to have Rhonda here today to be able to tell us all the things that their society provides.
Of course, and many people know that the first step to creating change is creating some awareness surrounding the issue at hand. And so it's an exciting opportunity to join forces with AVI to really get some fun activities happening to help bring a little more attention to AIDS Vancouver Island. Because Rhonda was mentioning to me earlier before the interview that one thing that they struggle with is getting the information across to the community about what they do and all of the services that their office has to offer for us. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what AVI has?
Well, AVI Health Center is pretty unique in the holistic and integrated approach that we take. So we offer HIV primary care. We offer PrEP, which is kind of new, but it's a prophylactic medication that's taken to help prevent HIV. Okay. We also do opioid replacement therapy. We have STI testing. We do We have 2 support workers with us. We help with homelessness. We help with, people that are trying to navigate the system that seems, a little overwhelming to them. We even do their taxes. So, we have 4 doctors. We run an HIV primary care on Thursdays, and and then an opioid replacement as well. So,
are these services that are available to Nanaimo's youth as well through AVI?
We do have youth with us as well.
Okay.
So we are a low barrier clinic. We open the doors to everybody coming through. It's just, it's hard getting the word out to the community that of all the things that we offer for people living with addiction or living with HIV or want to prevent HIV, or just simply having them come in and have a point of care HIV test, it's just a healthy, we have an educator that goes into all the schools and to the jails each week, and just bringing awareness to health and safe sex and all those, things that help prevent harm reduction.
Right. And how exciting is it that these 2 entities have sort of kind of come across one another to really help raise that awareness and also provide this amazing fun platform for people in Nanaimo to come together and share their unique talents.
Well, we were thrilled.
And
we were thrilled.
We want to make sure that people understand that Vancouver Island Drag Race is not an LGBT event. This event is open for all genders and for everybody to come out to express themselves.
Right.
And we don't want people to think that this event is purely gay. Just like HIV in the 80s was always stigmatized around the LGBT community, this event is for everyone to come out to express themselves, and really we want to be able to raise as much awareness and to be able to be, for people to realize that the stigma shouldn't be there and that HIV can happen to anybody. People get sick for all sorts of reasons, and for a long time there was such a stigma around it, and there should be no shame and no stigma to illness. And we just want to get the community to come out and really rally together and to entertain the community as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's very exciting. Now, there's opportunities to volunteer with AVI as well, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're always looking for volunteers. We're really hoping that you can join us. And
you can find out more information about AVI and ways to be involved at avi.org. If you want to have more information about the drag race, you can pop onto the website www.vancouverislanddragrace.com, or you can shoot them an email at info@vancouverislanddragrace.com. It's taking place at the Queen's Hotel here in Nanaimo at 34 Victoria Crescent. Live auditions will be happening March 23rd with subsequent show dates after that you can find out more about on the website.
Yeah, and send us a bio and send us a short video and tell us why you think that you deserve to be Vancouver Island's next Drag Race superstar.
Absolutely. Thank you both so much for coming. I'm going to throw it back to Matt now.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you very, very much, Vanessa, Dean, and Rhonda. Again, a drag race with some racy drag, all for fun and fundraising for AIDS of Vancouver Island. Your efforts very, very much appreciated. And I also want to point out that was also Vanessa's first time hosting a segment on the show. So a round of applause from on this act for Vanessa. Great stuff. Love having the volunteer hosts down here doing some wonderful, wonderful work. Now, just over 10 minutes left here in this episode of the show on Shaw, and we're going to turn our attention to the cinema, in particular the upcoming Vancouver Island Short Film Festival. Let's check out this festival trailer right now and get a little glimpse into all of the 13 of the films. And with that now, we're very pleased to meet two folks who have a big hand in the festival. Festival director Carla Duarte and Nanaimo filmmaker John Gardner, whose film How to Hide a Dead Body, very excellent name, and also part of the program. Both of you, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
All right, Carla, let's start with you. Just give us tell our viewers a little bit about what the festival is all about.
Well, the Vancouver Island Short Film Festival is one of the longest running festivals of its kind on the island. We showcase the best in short film, 12 minutes or less. That's the only rule we have, so it's not genre specific. And each year we have an awesome selection committee who watches over 100 entries from around the world and selects the best in short film. So this year we have 13 films that we're showcasing at the Malaspina Theatre at the university.
All right, so you mentioned films from around the world. So who does submit? Is it mostly still Canadian films, or is it, so what's the breakdown there?
Yeah, it's been mostly Canadian films. Every year we don't know what we're going to get, but this year we got 75% of the entries were Canadian, and 20% of those 75% were from Vancouver Island. So huge representation here.
Nice, and there are some incentives as well for island filmmakers to submit to the festival, correct?
Yeah, it's free to enter.
There we go, perfect. All right, so then we talked about how the films were chosen, and let's get a living, breathing example of someone who has a film accepted into the festival. John Gardner had a number of films screened over the couple of years of the fest, but tell us about your film this year.
This year it is a dark comedy called How to Hide a Dead Body, which is about two really dumb guys trying to hide a dead body before a local gangster finds out what they did.
Nice, and we actually have a bit of a clip of the film to show, so set it up for our viewers.
Yeah, so this little clip is just the two guys. They're coming up with ways on how to get rid of this dead body before they get caught. So this is, they're thinking about burying it, and they're kind of weighing the pros and cons of that.
Perfect, all right, roll the clip.
It's a very simple one-step plan. I feel like any plan that's actually been thought through should maybe have more than one step.
Fine. Step 1, buy some shovels. Step 2, dig a hole. Step 3, put the body in the hole. Step 4, bury it.
That's not really a 4-step plan.
4 steps! Shovels, hole, body, bury.
Franklin is gonna murder you.
And you.
And me.
Dark stuff indeed. Again, that's film's about 12 minutes long, correct? For them to figure out their trials and tribulations?
Yep, all the suffering I could put them through was in 12 minutes. That's all I had, so yeah, squeezed it in there.
Nice. Now you've actually know quite a bit about the festival, because you've sort of were there on day one. So speak a little bit what the catalyst was to getting this festival going.
Yeah, so going back now 14 years, I was one of the two founders of the festival with Johnny Blakeborough. I was working for the Nanaimo Arts Council, and our job was to find ways to represent artists in the city, and I had been talking to Johnny about coming up with a local festival to give filmmakers an opportunity to show their work, because there really wasn't a place for them to show it. So we got together, and what we came up with was the Vancouver Island Short Film Festival. And for the first couple of years, I was one of the administrators helping getting it run, but then in a very self-serving way, I left as an administrator because I was excited to start making my own films. Which is what I did. I stepped away, and then I started working on my own films.
Okay.
But that really helped out a lot.
Last question for you, John. What does it mean to you as a filmmaker to be able to be in the theater watching your film screen in front of a live audience?
For me, that is the ultimate payoff. I don't care about awards or money, because there's no money in short film anyways. But being able to sit there and hear people laugh at a joke or get breathless in a dramatic moment, or just you can feel the audience enjoying what you've made, like that's the big payoff for me. It's really something.
Perfect. All right, Carl, last question. We have to wrap up here really quickly, but how can people find more information about the festival, and how can they get tickets?
You can go to visff.com for tickets, or go to the Port Theatre in person, or by calling 250-754-8550. That's the Port Theatre, and or at the door, but it'll be limited at the door, so get your tickets early because it tends to sell out.
Perfect. All right, again, Vancouver Island Short Film Festival, February 1st and 2nd at VIU Theatre, at Malaspina Theatre, VIU, sorry. Carla, John, thank you so much for joining us to talk about the fest
Thank you.
today. All right, it's time to wrap up the show now, and I must admit, I am myself also a very big fan of films, and I have tons on DVD, even if my old VHS tapes are gone with the wind in a titanic cleaning of my living room. On the short, I gotta tell you, the Short Film Fest, though, it's the shining example of a local film fest. You can chomp your jaws on some popcorn. Some like it cold, but some like it hot. Just make sure to turn your cell phone off in the theater. Don't be that guy who's the Lord of the Rings, right? I mean, in the theater, you want it quiet. Think about like the Silence of the Lambs as an example. After all, we want to make sure to be able to hear the sound of music. Otherwise, it'll be a rocky start, just as that throw of Howie trying to hit me there. And we'll put you on an airplane to Casablanca with no escape plan, no taxi driver to take you home alone. All right, anyways, I got some groans. I'm so happy to be back in 2019. Thanks to all of our guests and our hardworking volunteers and staff in front of the cameras and behind the scenes. You can find more about this program on Facebook, facebook.com/The Show on Shaw, and also you can find previous episodes on YouTube as well. If you have an event, cause, demonstration, film, punter issue you'd like to bring to the show, we're always looking for great Central Island guests. We're also looking for great volunteers as well, so drop a line to our producer, Jocelyn Matwee, for that. Before we go, though, one more song from Aaron James to finish it off. Again, thank you so much for watching the show right here on Shaw.
I had a friend, where did he go? He left me all alone for a pocket full of gold. He's got a woman, 5 things in her home. He don't come around here no more. I was a boy with my head in the clouds. Now I'm a man who can't find my way down. Spending my money on my rock and roll. Even my mother won't call no more. Good night, my friends, good night. Yeah, sleep tight now, my friends, sleep tight. It goes 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Probably be okay if I could learn to relax. Spending my time on my rock and roll. Now my baby won't see me no more. Not the first and she won't be the last. She went away and she won't come back. Tell me, baby, now where'd you go? Don't you want your lover boy no more? Good night, my friends, good night. Yeah, sleep tight now, my friends, sleep tight. Oh, good night, yeah, good night. Yeah, sleep tight, my friends, sleep tight. Tell me you got something better for me, baby. Tell me it's better than this. Tell me you got some good news for me, baby. Yeah, yeah. Come and seal it with a kiss. Seal it with a kiss. I had a friend, where did he go? Left me all alone for a pocket full of gold. He's got a woman, 5 things in her home. He don't come around here no more. I was a boy with my head in the clouds. Now I'm a man who can't find my way down. Spending my money on my rock and roll. Even my mother won't call no more. Good night, my friends, good night. Sleep tight now, my friends, sleep tight. Oh, good night, yeah, good night. Sleep tight, my friends, sleep tight. Tell me you got something better for me, baby. Tell me it's better than this. Tell me you got some good news for me, baby. Yeah, yeah. Come and seal it with a kiss. Tell me you got something better for me, baby. Tell me it's better than this. Tell me you got some good news for me, baby. Come and seal it with a kiss. Seal it with a kiss. Say yeah, 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 yeah.